So what about startup PTO? So what I found works is pretty straightforward. 3 weeks of vacation, 1 week used at year end. Just because so much of the US shuts down essentially somewhere after December 20th on through into the first week of January. So use 1 week somewhere in that year-end period and have folks stagger it. So some folks are off the kind of Christmas week, some folks are off the first week of the year, some folks off maybe, somewhere in between, so that you got a little bit of coverage, but you may as well not have your full crew at the same time. Requiring this leads to sort of a partial shutdown state so that the rest of the year, on net, everybody's a little bit more available. So that's kind of how we've handled that. Holiday schedule, you could just pick one. The one that we've typically used, just because it's easy to find online and is pretty standard, is the NYSE holiday schedule. So we do that plus people's birthday. Found that to be a nice touch. And, overall pretty reasonable. We never ran into trouble where folks were like, I need 4 weeks. I mean, hey, it's a startup. Go work for some big company if you want 4, 5, 6 weeks. But this was a pretty reasonable amount that people, felt comfortable taking some of it, if not all of it. The, sort of idea of unlimited vacation that some companies pursue is essentially the same as no vacation. It's very hard when you have sort of this theoretical vacation, that you take it. And so this is sort of a good balance point is what I've found. And then the last piece that's worth noting here is sort of maternity, paternity. So, family leave. What we did, or I've done in the past, and still do today with Fraction, is 4 weeks. So 4 weeks paid for maternity, I guess, / paternity. I can jam that in there. So 4 weeks paid, and then the option to use your any vacation weeks to tack that onto the end to get that up to 6 weeks or more. And then, of course, the ability to stay off work for 12 weeks in total to have a good stretch of time. But that the first half of that, from a startup perspective, that's a reasonable kind of balance point in terms of, hey, it's what you can afford without going over the top to be able to pay for up to 6 weeks of that, with 4 weeks paid and then the rest coming from vacation. What we found in practice was that with flexibility, a lot of new parents, new moms want to come back half-time after about 6 weeks and start to re-engage with work. And it's not true of everyone, but certainly in a lot of cases that was the case. And so we found that was kind of a good balance point, because you're a startup and you don't necessarily have the resources of the big company to do like 3 full months or what have you, but we kind of end up somewhere in between.